We were having the conversations about the sex scenes for the wedding episode.
Yes! Yes! Yeah!
The on-screen chemistry between Caitriona Balfe and Sam Heughan has sparked rumors for years, but now a bombshell secret may have just blown Caitriona's marriage apart. Is it finally over between Caitriona Balfe and her husband, Tony McGill? And is Sam Heughan at the center of it all?
Don't know, so it's a bit
I think she probably uses a lot less lip balm than Sam does, so you probably have softer lips than she had.
Buckle up, folks, because tonight we're exposing the story fans have whispered about for years, and now it might be more real than ever. Caitriona Balfe, the dazzling Irish actress who has captivated audiences as Claire Fraser on Outlander, has always been private when it comes to her personal life. Her marriage to Tony McGill, a music producer and longtime friend, was low-key, classy, and out of the spotlight. The couple tied the knot in 2019 in an intimate ceremony in England. But behind the smiles and the silence, were there cracks already forming? Fast forward to today, rumors are swirling that Tony McGill has had enough. Sources close to the couple claim that a shocking discovery, tied to none other than Sam Heughan, might be the final straw. Sam Heughan, Caitriona's Outlander co-star and the ever-charming Scotsman, has been the other half of one of television's most sizzling duos. Their chemistry is undeniable, and fans have long speculated about something more going on behind the scenes. Though both stars have denied a real-life romance, some recent events have fans, and apparently Tony McGill, asking serious questions. A leaked message thread allegedly shows Caitriona and Sam exchanging extremely personal and potentially compromising messages. While we can't confirm the authenticity of the messages, insiders say Tony found them on a shared device, sparking an explosive confrontation. Our source, who asked to remain anonymous, claims, quote, Tony was devastated. He trusted Caitriona completely, but what he saw broke his heart. He felt like an outsider in his own marriage, end quote. The source also alleges that this isn't the first time Sam has come between them. Quote, Tony has always had to deal with the shadow of Sam. He kept it cool in public, but in private, it was a constant struggle. Seeing them together, the way they look at each other, it was impossible to ignore, end quote. It's no secret that Sam and Caitriona have shared a uniquely close bond since Outlander began. They've supported each other through thick and thin, both on and off screen. Their banter, their shared jokes, and their mutual admiration have fueled tabloid speculation for years, but they've always maintained they're just friends, best friends. Still, with Tony McGill now reportedly considering divorce, fans and insiders alike are wondering if there's more to this friendship than meets the eye. Social media erupted last week when eagle-eyed fans noticed that Tony McGill had removed multiple photos of Caitriona from his profiles, and worse, was spotted without his wedding ring at a London event. Caitriona, for her part, has stayed silent, but silence in Hollywood often speaks louder than words. What's even more curious? Sam Heughan has also been unusually quiet. Known for being active and engaging on Instagram and Twitter, Sam hasn't posted in days. Some speculate he's trying to avoid adding fuel to the already raging fire. And here's where things get even more mysterious. An anonymous fan claims to have seen Sam and Caitriona dining together in a quiet corner of a Dublin restaurant just last week. Was it a friendly catch-up? Or something more? The fan says, quote, they looked very cozy. It didn't feel like a normal co-star dinner, end quote. If these reports are true, the timeline gets messy and painful because Tony McGill may have found out only days later. It's a story with all the ingredients of a Hollywood drama: fame, love, betrayal, and the blurred lines between fiction and reality. As of now, neither Caitriona nor Tony has publicly commented on the divorce rumors. But with speculation mounting, it's only a matter of time before a statement is made or another bombshell drops. And what about Sam Heughan? Will he remain silent or step forward to defend himself or Caitriona? What we do know is this: relationships in the spotlight are never easy, and when professional chemistry spills over into real life, the results can be explosive. Whether Caitriona and Sam ever crossed a line, or whether this is all just painful speculation, one thing is clear: a marriage is in crisis, and fans are left wondering, was it always written in the stars? We'll be watching this story closely as it develops, and to Tony, Caitriona, and Sam, we hope that whatever the truth is, healing comes for all involved.
Caitriona Balfe, the heart and soul of the beloved series Outlander, recently took to social media to share a profoundly emotional message that left fans of the show both devastated and deeply moved. Her words, "I never thought we would have to say goodbye," echoed with finality and nostalgia, igniting a wave of reflection among the show's massive global fan base. This emotional post, made just as filming for the final season wrapped up, did not just mark the end of a television era. It marked the conclusion of a decade-long journey that had come to define Balfe's career, reshape her life, and endear her to millions. From the very first episode, Caitriona Balfe, who portrays Claire Fraser, brought to life a character of intelligence, resilience, and immense emotional depth. Her portrayal became iconic, a testament to the caliber of talent that she possesses and the devotion she has given to the role. Over the years, Balfe and her character have weathered many storms, both in the fictional world of Outlander and in the real-life challenges of long-term filming, evolving relationships, and intense fan scrutiny. So when Caitriona chose to reflect publicly as she prepared to bid farewell, it was not just another celebrity post. It was a heartfelt goodbye that carried the emotional weight of 10 transformative years. In her post, Caitriona included behind-the-scenes photos of the final days of filming, candid snapshots with co-stars, and touching notes of appreciation for the crew who had become her extended family. Every image was a time capsule. Every caption carried the weight of endings. Her words were not simply for show, they were part of a genuine catharsis, a moment of release for a woman who had poured every ounce of her being into a role that would go on to define an entire chapter of her life. What struck fans most was not just the sadness of farewell, but the immense gratitude that underpinned every word. Caitriona made it clear that she cherished every moment of the journey. The timing of her post coincided with an emotional surge within the fandom. As news of the series' conclusion had begun to settle, viewers had been preparing themselves for this inevitable goodbye. But nothing could truly prepare anyone for Caitriona's words, which made the ending feel heartbreakingly real. Her reflections acted as a mirror for her fans' own memories. Suddenly, those who had watched Claire and Jamie's story unfold over 8 seasons were transported back to key moments. Claire's first journey through the Stones, the couple's wedding, the birth of their child, their struggles through war, loss, separation, and reunion. Caitriona acknowledged these moments with reverence, but she also focused heavily on the relationship she had forged during the filming process. Her bond with Sam Heughan, who plays Jamie Fraser, was particularly spotlighted. Although rumors of romantic involvement have always been refuted, the two actors have maintained a powerful friendship that many have admired. In her post, Caitriona praised Sam as a remarkable co-star, friend, and partner in storytelling. She recalled the countless scenes they filmed together under grueling conditions, the laughter they shared on and off set, and the mutual respect that defined their relationship. In many ways, she seemed to be thanking not just a co-star, but a kindred spirit with whom she shared a rare and unbreakable artistic connection. She also extended her love to the wider cast: Richard Rankin, Sophie Skelton, John Bell, David Berry, Lauren Lyle, and others who helped enrich the story of Outlander and turned it into the phenomenon it is today. Caitriona expressed deep admiration for their talent and companionship, noting that the camaraderie shared on set was something she would carry with her always. She reflected on how these relationships helped her grow both as an actress and as a person. The shared experience of spending nearly a decade immersed in such a deeply emotional and physically demanding story had bonded them in a way that few outside the entertainment industry could ever truly understand. Beyond cast and crew, Caitriona's message resonated because she took time to acknowledge the Outlander fans, affectionately known as the Outlander family. Her gratitude to them was palpable. She wrote about the letters she received, the stories of personal healing shared with her at conventions, the fans who found strength and inspiration through Claire's journey, and the ones who reached out during difficult times. These reflections made it clear that Caitriona sees her role not just as a job, but as a responsibility. She fully understood how the character of Claire impacted lives, and she never took that responsibility lightly. Her emotional post also delved into the broader themes of loss and transition. Saying goodbye to Claire Fraser meant saying goodbye to a version of herself. Over the past 10 years, Caitriona has transformed both on screen and off. When she first stepped into the role, she was a relatively unknown actress transitioning from a successful modeling career. Today, she is a Golden Globe-nominated performer, a producer, a wife, a mother, and a vocal advocate for social justice and women's rights. The journey from rising star to household name unfolded in tandem with Claire's arc. The lines between fiction and reality often blurred, as Caitriona navigated fame, responsibility, and personal growth. She addressed this in her post, stating that Outlander shaped her in ways she could never have imagined. It gave her the courage to speak her mind, to use her platform for good, and to believe in her own storytelling power. She acknowledged the challenges, long filming hours, time away from loved ones, the pressure of fan expectations, but emphasized that the rewards far outweighed the sacrifices. Her portrayal of Claire Fraser was, in her own words, the privilege of a lifetime. As the news of Caitriona's farewell post spread across social media, fans from around the world responded with their own messages of thanks. Hashtags like #ThankYouCaitriona and #ForeverClaire began trending, and thousands of heartfelt comments flooded her Instagram page. Many fans admitted they were in tears, describing how much Claire meant to them personally, or how the show helped them cope with illness, grief, or loneliness. Some even credited Outlander with saving their lives. The collective emotional response was overwhelming, and it served as further evidence of how deeply embedded Caitriona's work is in the hearts of millions. Several of her co-stars responded publicly as well. Sam Heughan posted a tribute of his own, filled with gratitude and brotherly affection. Sophie Skelton called Caitriona a force of nature and thanked her for being a mentor and a friend. Executive producer Meryl Davis described her as the heartbeat of the show, and author Diana Gabaldon, whose novels inspired the series, praised Caitriona for giving Claire a voice that transcended the page. These tributes painted a fuller picture of Caitriona not just as an actress, but as a leader and a beloved figure within the Outlander family. In interviews following her post, Caitriona hinted at what the future may hold. She confirmed that she has several exciting projects lined up both in film and television, and is also focusing on producing content that aligns with her values. She expressed interest in telling stories that amplify underrepresented voices and challenge societal norms. Though Outlander is ending, Caitriona Balfe is not slowing down. She is stepping into a new phase of her career, one in which she will undoubtedly continue to inspire, uplift, and challenge audiences. Her farewell also marks the end of an era in television. Outlander was more than just a show. It was a cultural phenomenon that redefined genre storytelling and elevated the roles of women in historical fiction. It dared to portray sensuality, trauma, time travel, and resilience in ways rarely seen on screen. And at the center of it all was Caitriona Balfe, an actress who gave everything to her role and helped redefine what it means to be a strong female lead. Her post, filled with vulnerability and grace, reminded the world that goodbyes can be beautiful when they come from a place of love. As fans prepare to watch the final episodes, Caitriona's words will echo in their minds. The end is bittersweet, but it's also a celebration. A celebration of artistry, of human connection, of courage, and of storytelling that transcends time and space. In saying goodbye, Caitriona gave her fans one final gift, an honest and deeply moving reflection that reminds us all of the power of television to touch hearts and change lives. While the journey of Claire Fraser may be ending, the legacy she leaves behind will endure. And Caitriona Balfe, with her incredible talent, humility, and authenticity, will forever be remembered as the woman who brought Claire to life with breathtaking brilliance. As she steps forward into new roles and adventures, the world will be watching with gratitude and admiration. And though she said, "I never thought we would have to say goodbye," fans everywhere are whispering back, "We never will." As the sun begins to set on one of television's most beloved historical dramas, the cast of Outlander is opening up about the emotional ride that awaits fans in the final season. Sam Heughan, Sophie Skelton, and Richard Rankin have begun sharing their thoughts, memories, and subtle hints about what viewers can expect from Season 8, which promises to be both deeply nostalgic and heartbreakingly final. After nearly a decade of time-traveling love, war, sacrifice, and survival, the iconic series based on Diana Gabaldon's novels is preparing for its closing act. But in many ways, this ending is just as powerful and emotionally stirring as anything the series has offered before. The announcement that Season 8 would be the last chapter for Outlander shook the fanbase to its core. Though hints had been circulating for a while, the official confirmation brought with it an overwhelming wave of reflection, gratitude, and inevitably sadness. With a story that spans centuries, countries, and generations, Outlander has always prided itself on exploring not just history, but the emotional truths that endure no matter the time period. And as the actors gather to share their journeys and perspectives ahead of the final season, it's evident that this is more than just a show to them. It's a chapter of their lives that will forever be etched into their identities. Sam Heughan, who has portrayed Jamie Fraser since 2014, has spoken candidly about the roller coaster of emotions he's been experiencing as filming progresses. While the character of Jamie Fraser has become iconic in his own right, it's clear that Heughan has poured every ounce of his being into bringing the Highland warrior to life. His connection with the role runs deeper than costume and script. It's tied to his heart, his career, and his growth as a performer. Heughan has described returning to set for the final season as coming full circle, reflecting on how the landscapes of Scotland and the corridors of Castle Leoch have become home in a way he never expected. Sophie Skelton, who stepped into the role of Brianna Fraser in Season 2, has grown up on the show. From an uncertain young woman discovering her lineage to a fiercely resilient mother and time traveler in her own right, Skelton's evolution has mirrored that of her character. In recent interviews and social media posts, Sophie has alluded to the powerful emotional arcs Brianna will face in Season 8. She has suggested that viewers will be deeply moved by Brianna's final journey, particularly as the show delves into themes of legacy, identity, and belonging. There's also been a sense that the writers are aiming to bring closure not only to the character's storyline but to her emotional journey in a way that will resonate long after the credits roll. Richard Rankin, who plays Roger Wakefield Mackenzie, has echoed many of these sentiments. Having joined the series in Season 2, Rankin's portrayal of the scholarly, spiritual, and passionate Roger has become a cornerstone of the Fraser-Mackenzie family story. In recent comments, he described the final season as a bittersweet symphony, full of joy, heartache, and a deep sense of reflection. Rankin teased that Roger's character would face some of his most challenging decisions yet, and that the emotional impact of these choices would ripple through the Fraser family in significant ways. His words, while careful not to spoil plot details, emphasized that the final season is about honoring the characters' journeys while letting them grow into the futures they've fought so hard for. As fans of the show know well, Outlander is not just a love story between Jamie and Claire. It's a sweeping saga that includes war, loss, time travel, and family. The show has never shied away from trauma, nor has it avoided the emotional consequences of its plot twists. That's why the promise of a nostalgic and heartbreaking final season feels so appropriate. Nostalgia, because the show will undoubtedly call back to its earliest seasons, reminding viewers of where this all began. And heartbreak, because no true ending comes without loss, change, and the ache of farewell. The writers, led by showrunner Matthew B. Roberts, are reportedly weaving together elements from the final Gabaldon novels while adding their own flourishes to ensure that longtime fans are given the closure they deserve. Claire Fraser, portrayed by Caitriona Balfe, remains at the center of the story. While Balfe has not spoken as frequently as her co-stars in recent weeks, early script teasers and on-set leaks suggest that Claire will confront her own legacy in the final season. How she reflects on her journey through the centuries and what choices she makes about the future may well form the emotional heart of the finale. In discussing the tone of the last season, the cast has frequently used words like epic, emotional, painful, and beautiful. Sam Heughan in particular has hinted that the final few episodes will be difficult to watch and even harder to perform. He's described shooting certain scenes as gut-wrenching, and has credited the close-knit cast and crew for helping him through those difficult days. The emotional burden of saying goodbye to a character he's inhabited for over a decade is not lost on him, and fans have taken to social media to express how grateful they are for his dedication, his vulnerability, and his authenticity. Social media has become a powerful outlet for both cast and fans as they collectively process this final chapter. Sophie Skelton has posted several behind-the-scenes glimpses into the final filming days, often with captions that speak of gratitude, memory, and the bittersweet nature of moving on. Richard Rankin, too, has shared moments of quiet reflection, images of the Scottish Highlands, scenes from past seasons, and snapshots with cast members that feel like part of a digital scrapbook of shared memories. Their transparency and openness have made this transition more bearable for fans, who feel as though they are walking alongside the actors on this emotional road to the end. The show's final season is also expected to return to some of the core elements that made Outlander a global phenomenon in the first place: passionate romance, political intrigue, historical conflict, and the ever-complicated consequences of time travel. There are rumors of flashbacks and even possible cameos from characters long gone, a testament to how deeply the show plans to honor its roots. One of the most compelling themes that the actors have hinted at is legacy, not just what the characters leave behind in their respective timelines, but what Outlander as a series leaves behind in television history. Indeed, the legacy of Outlander is already cemented in many ways. It brought Scottish history into living rooms around the world, introduced millions to the beauty of Gaelic culture, and created a fandom that transcends borders and languages. The chemistry between the core cast members has been nothing short of electric, with each actor pouring soul and nuance into roles that demanded courage, vulnerability, and emotional depth. For fans, these aren't just characters on a screen. They are part of their emotional landscape, reflections of their own hopes, loves, fears, and dreams. What makes this final season even more poignant is the acknowledgement from the cast that this isn't just goodbye to a show, it's goodbye to a family. Sam Heughan, in particular, has spoken about how the relationships he's formed over the years, both on and off camera, have changed him forever. Sophie Skelton has said that growing up in front of the camera in such an emotionally intense series has shaped her not only as an actress but as a person. Richard Rankin has described the set as a second home, filled with people who've become lifelong friends. That shared experience of transformation, growth, and emotional bonding will be evident in every frame of the final season. As the premiere date approaches, the anticipation is almost overwhelming. Fans are preparing themselves for goodbyes to characters who feel like family, to stories that inspired them, and to a world that's offered escape, comfort, and catharsis. The emotional impact of this season will likely be felt not just in the tear-jerking farewells, but in the quiet moments of resolution, the long-awaited answers, and the full-circle returns to places and memories from earlier seasons. What lies ahead for Jamie, Claire, Brianna, Roger, and the others remains closely guarded, but the emotional foundation is clear. This is a season about facing the past while stepping into the future. About honoring those who came before while preparing the next generation for what comes next. About love that defies time, and the power of storytelling to heal, to transform, and to endure. In their own words, the cast members have called this season a tribute, not just to the characters and the story, but to the fans who've walked this journey with them. That emotional bond between creators and viewers is what will make the final season so powerful. It's a shared goodbye, but also a shared celebration of everything Outlander has meant. So when the final credits roll and the last note of Bear McCreary's haunting theme song fades into silence, it won't be just the end of a series. It will be the closing of a chapter that touched hearts across the globe. A chapter filled with bravery, with passion, with heartbreak, and above all, with unforgettable love. And though the story may conclude, the echoes of Outlander will linger, carried forward by the memories, the performances, and the powerful truth that love, no matter what time it lives in, never truly dies. It's hard to believe that Starz adaptation of Diana Gabaldon's best-selling Outlander series has been sweeping audiences off their collective feet for 7 seasons, 11 years, and counting. Starz has yet to announce an air date for the historical romance's upcoming final season, but Season 8's arrival is as inevitable as the series itself coming to a close, even though we don't want to say goodbye. In October 2024, star Caitriona Balfe commemorated her last day playing Claire Fraser with an emotional Instagram video of the wardrobe department removing Claire's wig. Balfe's tearful farewell to the heroine who might wind up defining her career caught the keen eyes of book readers. The wig of it all in particular, Balfe began the series with her natural hair before donning wigs across successive seasons as Claire grew older, each one slightly more silver than the last. The specific wig Balfe featured in her video piqued viewers' curiosity because its strands contain an even stronger gray than the striking salt and pepper look Claire rocked throughout Season 7. This shift might indicate nothing more extravagant for Season 8 than a time jump. However, Mrs. Fraser's ashen curls might also be a clue about Claire's future, and whether Outlander concludes its heroine's story by resolving an overarching plot thread from Gabaldon's books to Outlander's 4th season introduces a prophecy tying the changing shade of Claire's hair to her medicinal skills. In Episode 4, as Claire and Jamie Fraser, Sam Heughan, settle into their new home at Fraser's Ridge in North Carolina, Claire meets Adorhi Tantu Cardinal, a Cherokee woman and a healer. Adorhi's granddaughter by marriage, Gaduwa, Crystal Lightning, tells Claire that Adorhi recognizes Claire from one of her dreams. Adorhi predicts that once Claire's hair turns fully white, she will cure wounds through magic, not just with her expertise in 20th century medicine. Translating her grandmother's words into English for Claire's benefit, Gaduwa explains, "The moon was in the water and you became a white raven." The white raven flew back and laid an egg in the palm of her hand. The egg split open and there was a shining stone inside. She knew this was great magic, that the stone could heal sickness. "My husband's grandmother says that you have medicine now, but you will have more. When your hair is white like snow, you will have wisdom beyond time." Even though Claire values her hard-won expertise and detests having those qualifications associated with witchcraft, misogynistic men accusing you of sorcery will do that, Adorhi's confident words are meant to comfort and guide Claire. The older woman understands that if a person is lucky enough to age, they accumulate experience, maturity, and clarity. In Claire's case, growing older will let her discover facets of herself she couldn't access even in her middle years. When the visible indicators of her advancing age shift from gray locks to snowy pale ones, she's destined to unlock the floodgates holding back her dormant magic and become the most powerful and empowered version of herself. To put it in anime terms, Claire Fraser will assume her final form. Claire doesn't grasp Adorhi's full meaning, but she accepts the other healer's generous kindness. Gabaldon's novels consistently track Claire's hair color and emphasize its predicted importance. Outlander's creator also links blue and white objects to Claire, sometimes innocuously and other times with explicit clarity. Let's not forget, for example, Claire's notoriety as La Dame Blanche, the White Witch of France in Season 2. Common Ground lifts Adorhi's, originally named Heughan, and a Tuscarora wise woman descriptions from the 4th novel Drums of Autumn, almost word for word. According to Gabrielle, changed to Gaduwa for the show, "My husband's grandmother says that you have medicine now, but you will have more. When your hair is white like hers, that is when you will find your full power." Likewise, Heughan dreams of the unique white raven laying an egg with a shining stone inside, and the sapphire's capacity to treat sickness through advanced supernatural means. Meanwhile, the previous book, Voyager, briefly introduces Ishmael, a Haitian Vodou Algan who believes menopause allows women to freely embrace the full extent of their magic. "A woman bleeds, she kill magic," Ishmael states. "You bleed, got your woman power, the magic don't work for you. The old women do magic, which someone call the Loes make sick, make well." Skip ahead to Book 6, A Breath of Snow and Ashes, and Jamie the Dreamboat himself envisions a future where Claire is surrounded by an unnatural yet ethereal white light. As of the penultimate novel, Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, Claire's hair has almost reached that foreshadowed ivory shade. Her hands also glow blue when she revives the injured, just like Master Raymond, Dominique Pinion, the ancient time traveler who heals Claire after her Season 2 miscarriage. As he tends to her, Claire, in her late 20s at the most, witnesses the blue aura Raymond previously told her select individuals possess, Claire among them. Suitably, Master Raymond initiates Season 7's stunning cliffhanger, which might also be the most diabolical twist in Outlander history. After Claire experiences a meaningful dream and hears Fanny Flory Mae Wilkinson singing the same tune Claire sang to the Frasers' first daughter, Faith, Claire suspects Raymond resurrected Faith after the infant's stillborn death. It's a curveball invented for the small screen, which hasn't focused nearly as much attention on Claire's developing magical potential outside of her first scene with Adorhi. If Master Raymond's supernatural blue aura did indeed bring Faith back to life, that staggering revelation might both reintroduce Claire's foreshadowed evolution and bring the dangling, underdeveloped plot thread full circle. Either way, Gabaldon's next upcoming book, A Blessing for a Warrior Going Out, and the Starz series' own final bow will diverge in undisclosed ways. Season 8 mainly adapts Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, although Gabaldon stated the season will weave little pieces of Book 10 into its tapestry. Hopefully, Balfe's wig-related tidbit means Outlander addresses Claire's witchy destiny with the gravitas Gabaldon's long-standing idea deserves. Of course, the wig Balfe wore on her last day isn't completely white. The silvery tone has increased since Season 7, however, and since television series don't film in sequential order, it's possible Balfe wrapped up her Outlander run by filming scenes from a different episode than the finale. We do know the production shot several different endings, leaving even Balfe and Heughan in the dark about their characters' ultimate destinies. Until Season 8 graces our screens, all audiences can do, besides devouring the Outlander, Blood of My Blood prequel series, is hope for the best for Claire Beecham Randall Fraser, the romance genre's indomitable reigning queen. As Outlander enters its emotional final chapter, the torch is quietly being passed to the next generation of Fraser stories through the prequel series Outlander, Blood of My Blood. With anticipation brewing for the historical drama's spin-off, fans are already speculating what kind of legacy the new cast will inherit from the beloved original. One key person, however, has just broken his silence on that very question, and he did it with only 4 powerful words. Sam Heughan, the actor who has embodied Jamie Fraser for over a decade, has offered a short but poignant piece of advice to the incoming stars of Blood of My Blood, and it's a message that reveals both the burden and beauty of stepping into the Outlander universe. Embrace the leather kilt. While seemingly light-hearted, Heughan's statement is steeped in layered meaning. More than just a fashion tip, those 4 words nod to the physical, emotional, and thematic weight carried by anyone portraying a Fraser. The leather kilt has become symbolic of the grit, honor, pain, and romance that defines the Highland warrior, and now those values must be carried forward by a new generation of actors in Blood of My Blood, which explores the origins of Jamie's parents, Ellen Mackenzie and Brian Fraser, as well as Claire's parents in a separate storyline. Heughan's remark was delivered during a recent fan convention where he was asked if he had any wisdom for the prequel cast, whose names are still largely under wraps. With a characteristic twinkle in his eye, he leaned into the microphone and replied simply with the now iconic phrase. For longtime fans, those words felt like both a benediction and a challenge. No one knows better than Heughan what it means to don the Fraser legacy, the physical discomfort of Highland garb, the emotional complexity of the role, and the immense fan scrutiny that comes with being part of the Outlander phenomenon. The leather kilt, after all, is more than a costume. It has become a symbol of Jamie's resilience, his Highland identity, and his romantic soul, 3 elements that have defined Outlander since the very beginning. For the new actors, embracing that mantle will require more than method acting, it will require heart. Heughan's quip has since gone viral among the Outlander fandom, with fans on social media reacting with a mix of laughter, nostalgia, and admiration. Many pointed out that it echoes the physical demands of the role, from sword fighting in the cold Scottish Highlands to intense emotional scenes, and that the leather kilt has always represented more than just clothing. It's a badge of honor, a symbol of family, and a piece of armor against the brutality of both war and loss. In essence, it is the Outlander story stitched in hide and worn with pride. Though Sam Heughan kept his comment brief, his larger impact on the franchise cannot be overstated. As Jamie Fraser, he has carried the narrative backbone of the series for 8 seasons and counting. His chemistry with Caitriona Balfe's Claire, his command of emotional storytelling, and his ability to embody both tenderness and savagery have defined the series. Now, with Blood of My Blood promising to show us the beginnings of Jamie's lineage, Heughan's presence looms large, even if he won't appear on screen. His advice is a reminder that the next cast is not merely taking on a role. They are inheriting a legacy that was hard-earned, leather-bound, and beloved across the globe. As for Blood of My Blood, the series is set to explore not only the Fraser love story of Brian and Ellen in 18th century Scotland, but also the courtship of Claire's parents, Henry and Julia, in World War I-era England. That dual timeline setup has fans intrigued and eager to see how these foundational relationships mirror the timeless bond between Jamie and Claire. Diana Gabaldon, the author behind the Outlander book series, has confirmed her involvement as a consultant, ensuring that the tone and detail of the original saga will carry over. Casting announcements for the prequel have been slowly trickling in. Harriet Slater and Jamie Roy will portray Ellen Mackenzie and Brian Fraser, respectively. Slater, best known for her role in Peneth, has already begun to draw comparisons to Caitriona Balfe for her expressive face and commanding screen presence. Roy, meanwhile, has appeared in Condor and Karen Pirie, and is expected to bring a similar mix of quiet strength and roguish charm that defined Heughan's Jamie. Production for Blood of My Blood began in Scotland earlier this year, with showrunner Matthew B. Roberts promising that the prequel will retain the heart of Outlander while establishing its own voice. In a recent interview, Roberts acknowledged the challenge of living up to the original but said that the writer's room is leaning into the romanticism and political complexity that fans expect. The backdrop of the Jacobite uprisings will once again frame the narrative, but the family dynamics, particularly the tension between Clan Mackenzie and Clan Fraser, will take center stage. Despite the enthusiasm for the prequel, some fans are struggling to say goodbye to the main series. Season 8, the final installment of Outlander, has been split into two parts, with the first half already leaving viewers reeling.